Right, hello. So hopefully the stream starts all right. And there's something that you might notice when people come on that's interesting in the background. I can't pick it up because this is a live stream and YouTube doesn't like that. Let me angle the light a bit differently so it's let me lower the brightness a bit and change the color palette. Put on the yellow setting. There's the yellow, right. So hello to anybody joining, and the reason I've got this on, that's the reason. Don't actually need it on inside the house, but recently somebody actually asked me could I review a Ushanka, right? CM, I assume it's chocolate muffin, is it, CM? But somebody said, could I review a Ushanka recently? And I said, well, I got one, but the thing is I had no I've never actually had a proper need for it. But as I've cut my hair again recently, and it was actually cold today, I got a headache being out in the cold, like the wind hitting my head and my ears. So I thought, yeah, I'll pop this in my car and then I'll do an actual review of it when it's a cold day. I'll just get my phone out on selfie mode or whatever and do a review of this. So there you go. I'll do a video on that at some point. Tomorrow's video is on the was today's remit. Okay, because there's also chocolate muffin who's CM, so that's why it's confusing me. But hello to you anyway. All right, Rich. So the thing behind me, I better not point at directly with my hand in case YouTube thinks I'm handling it and takes the stream down, is a Galil. So yeah, we've got two CMs now. So yeah, the Galil's behind me. So that's a Galil SAR deactivated, which was really cheap for what it was. So that's the Galil short automatic rifle, the one Israel used up until the most recently when they replaced them with the Tavors. 5.56 assault rifle based on an AK, but like a very high quality AK, and it's fucking lovely. But sadly, it's deactivated. But yeah, I can't say on YouTube where I got it from, but one of the sites that deals in deactivated guns in the UK got them in for basically about a third of the price they normally are. Because when I looked on a couple of the other sites, they had them in for I think it was like £800+ depending on the model. All right, Rajiv. And what does KP mean? Is this just some sort of new spam thing? But yeah, hello to you, Rajiv. Yeah, I did it yesterday, Stuart. But I had to order, not new clippers, but I ordered a new face shaver, so I used that to go over a little bit of my scalp again today, because there was a couple of bits where my actual clippers couldn't get the hair, so I had little tufts which are really annoying me. Now it's KP nuts, but yeah. But anyway, so for the people who wanted a Ushanka review, I will do one for you at some point with this one when I get a cold enough day and I actually feel like wearing it. But while I'm a slaphead, these actually come in handy at keeping your head warm. When I've got hair, I never need them. Not in the UK sort of weather sort of thing. But yeah, so there's a video on the Galil tomorrow with a little bit of the history. Obviously, if you want to see the full history of the Galil, watch the Forgotten Weapons video on them. But Galil's very cool for what they are. And I'm going to try and for Sunday get a short Halloween special done. It's not really going to be a humorous one as such, but some people might find it interesting. All right, wait for some more people to join the chat then. Yeah, it definitely reflects the light a lot more, doesn't it, when you've got a bald head? Look at that. Wow, yeah. Yeah, like HDR on a video game. Yeah. But yes, so assuming I don't get skin cancer from this lamp, I shouldn't. But, it might give me a slight tan from the bit of UV coming with it. No, I've never tried removing the earphones from a Russian tank helmet, and I wouldn't bother, personally. If you're on about this one, Atomic CS, where you can see that, yes, that's a laser burn. Because I've got a lot of lasers and shining them at the camera's funny now and again. So yeah, not from like radioactive stuff doing it, but yeah, it's sensor burns from a laser. That's why I'm very, very careful with my proper expensive camcorder I use for videos, that, you know, that doesn't ever get exposed to lasers. But now and again, because this one's already damaged, and it'd be like £40 to buy a new one, you know, and I've had this one like 2 years now. I don't mind, you know, now and again just shining a laser into it so people can see what it looks like. Obviously, yes, it does cause sensor burns on the thing. Although the more annoying thing is when I keep getting comments saying, yeah, what, reflecting all the light back. There you go. I'll put the hat on again and stop the light reflection. I could probably also angle that a bit more to, there we go, just be a bit more of an ambient light. But yeah, what was I saying? Something about yeah, the burns with lasers. Yeah, like with my expensive camcorder, obviously I'm really careful out with lasers because you don't want to damage a very expensive camcorder. But with cheaper cameras, you know, who cares? You can replace them quite cheaply. And what did you phone in about, Stuart? I wasn't listening, I'm afraid. Oh yeah, I was just saying the annoying comments is more the people that constantly say, you've got you've got dirt on your camera. I'm like, no, it's a laser burn. And then there's people like, no, it's dirt. Just give your camera a wipe. And I'm like, no, it's a laser burn. That's why it's like a purple splodge. Right, punches, couches. And there's some people that won't believe me when I say that's a laser burn. You know, even if I did a first-person video getting some glass cleaner and wiping it on the camera, those wouldn't go away because they're burns. Yeah, that was the thing about the annoying comments. It's like, so when people say it first, it doesn't bother me. It's just the people that refuse to believe me when I say I've burnt it with a laser. Cheers, Flazzy, but I'm just going to get rid of them because they made 2 dumb comments in a row, so that's probably enough that they're in the video. Okay, sure, that's interesting. But yeah, so they're because they kind of do it for a bit of theatre, don't they, in the House of Commons, where some of them wear them, some of them don't. And it's more like, oh, we'll wear them if we think we're talking about something important. Oh, that sounds good. Getting a Honeywell PAPR. Tell you what, let me do the thing where you tie a Ushanka up on itself. I'll take it off to do that. Yeah, see that's why they have the system on them, so you can actually tie them a bit like a deer stalker, you know, up on themselves. But obviously, it's designed when you're in cold weather. The flaps are down to protect your ears. Of course, I can't even bloody tie a knot that I'm trying to do on camera. Just a simple bow will do. So I want to be able to undo it once I, you know, there we go. But yeah, but that's why they have that thing. It's just so you can tie them like that. They are just like deer stalkers, really, Ushankas. Do I have cancer? No, I don't have cancer. If I had cancer, I wouldn't have eyebrows, would I? If I was having chemotherapy or radiotherapy. Ah, fair enough, Fuzzy. It doesn't matter. Yeah. But yeah, saying that, yeah, gas masks will definitely fit me better now because I also was doing the thing earlier. I was trimming my moustache to like not go to there, but you know, to go to there, so the oral nasal cups go around them properly. Yeah, but that's the thing is, isn't it, Stuart? It's more like for the political convenience of what they want to do. Sadly, I think. But yeah, so at some point I will just do a review of a Ushanka because I know a lot of people keep asking, can I review them? And I mean, everybody knows they're pretty good at what they are. But well, if a company made modern 60mm masks and filters, they wouldn't be obsolete. But they're basically, you know, not a common thing anymore. Deactivated. I mean, I'm in the UK, so I wouldn't really be able to get a Galil SAR that was live. I mean, in theory, I guess on a Section 1, you could have one with the gas system disabled, so you'd have to charge it back per every shot. But by that point, you'd probably just rather get a bolt action because it would just be built better for that sort of thing. But no, it's a DIAC. But it's for the price. It was a very cheap DIAC, at least. I can't hold it in the stream because that would break YouTube's policies. Because you can weirdly, from YouTube's rules on streams now, you can have guns in streams, but you can't handle guns on streams. And people have got like strikes for that as well if they're just holding an airsoft gun or holding like a water pistol. So I'm not going to pick it up, but there's nothing wrong with having it in the background just propped up for today's stream. The video's on it tomorrow. Oh yeah, Lewis. Yeah, in Generation Kill. Yeah, what's it? What's it? The facial hair standards, whatever it is, because a southern bloke has it. Like, yeah. Depends where you are. In the UK, there's quite a few sites that do them. So if you're interested in a particular thing, it's worth looking over several sites and just seeing which one has it the cheapest out of the proper sites. Because again, annoyingly with YouTube's policies, I don't know if I can name the sites anymore. But there's two particular deactivated gun and like obsolete firearms websites I use. You know, they also sell bayonets and stuff like that. And basically, it's just I go because they both almost offer the exact same service. You know, next day first class delivery. You know, like you get it before 12 a.m. Well, not 12 a.m. 12 p.m. As in, you get it before midday the next day. So if you order it, say Monday morning, you should get it by Tuesday morning, sort of thing. You know, Wednesday morning at the latest. Both the sites do that, so they both offer like an identical postage thing, you know, and all that. And I've never had an issue with either site, you know, where you don't get what they're advertising that you're gonna get. So I just buy whichever one has the cheapest version of the gun I want in at the time. I was sent it for free, Justin, with a load of other stuff. I think my B store at one point, or it might have been another surplus store just sent it me as a gift along with a load of other stuff. For reproductions, Lewis, I don't really bother because you can get reproduction gas masks and that, but I've seen a lot of different sites selling them and I've never really bought them, so I don't know, you know, what reproductions, you know, really vary in terms of quality. I'll have a look and see who this person is that you're saying I look like, I'm assuming. Yeah, I did it yesterday, that's why I wasn't on the stream yesterday. Apparently that person has nothing to do with the stream, so I'll get rid of the person spamming it because, you know, I'm sure we want to talk about actual stuff on here. Sadly, lots of channels don't just do simple collab videos of anybody, but Backyard Ballistics sounds familiar, but I'm trying to think if I've seen their videos or not. The only person I've really done proper collabs with in a sense is Weapon Collector, because he lives quite close to me. But yeah, Justin, I'm going to just do a review of it simply because a load of people keep going to me on like random video comments and random streams. Can you review a Ushanka? And because I've got a bald head now, so I'll actually feel the cold when there's a windy, cold day, I might as well on that day get a selfie thing up on my phone. Like, I'm going to review this Ushanka on a day I'm, you know, on a day my head feels cold and my ears feel cold and I'm getting a headache. The problem is, Lewis, if you don't know this, so I've said before, with airsoft, I kind of like doing airsoft, but there's only one airsoft skirmish site close to me. And that site isn't even that close. So basically, it's a 30 to 40-minute drive. And then once there, I think they do one airsoft game a month, weather permitting, you know, so if it's a really rainy day, they won't do the airsoft game for that month. And it's also the problem that I work Sundays normally. So it's one of those things where I don't want to take a Sunday off work to risk booking it only to find out it gets cancelled last minute. If there was airsoft stuff closer, I'd probably do it because you know, I kind of like airsoft guns, not for really pretending they're real, but, you know, just for the fun of going out and doing it. Yep, Freddie, there'll be a review on it at some point because I'm going to just, what I'm going to do tonight or tomorrow morning, put it in my car boot. So when it's in my car boot, you know, like the trunk, if ever there's a cold day in the next month or so, I can literally just get it out for a video when I'm out and about and go like, look, here's an actual Ushanka review in the field, if you like, with cold weather, or you won't see a temperature thing on the phone, will you? Never mind. Over several weeks or months this year, playing about with lasers. But, you know, like I said, it didn't happen all in once. Like, it wasn't like there was one video where I shone a laser at it, then the next video they were all there. It's just over months of, you know, doing laser demonstrations that occasionally you get a couple more things burn out each time. I hope we have snow this year, because despite all the global warming stuff where they keep going, this country's going to get hotter, we seem to have snow more often than when I was younger. You know, it seems now we get a decent amount of snow every year or every 2 years, whereas before it used to be like when I was a kid every 5 years, because we never used to get snow days. Yeah, I'm sure we'll get some snow. Whether or not we get a decent amount, I don't know. But in the last few years, I think we've had, where I've been, there's always been an all right amount of snow each year. I suppose Flazzy's a lot further north than we are if he's in Scotland. But yeah, I mean, it's going to depend where you are, doesn't it? Because obviously, if you're in the south of the UK, like the south coast, your chance of getting snow is much lower than if you're further north. But I will play Stalker 2. I hope it's good, but I'm not holding my breath. The Grand Theft Auto remasters look better than I was expecting when they released some footage of it today. Yeah, we had some snow last year. I'm trying to think what month it was last year we had the snow. I think it must have been November, December time, or January. I think, yeah, if it might have even been this year. I think it was in the lockdown, you know, like the Christmas lockdown, we had snow this year. Because I bumped into some people from work when the days it was snowing, and I decided to go out with my dad for a bit of a laugh, you know, in some like cold weather gear. And then I bumped into like one of the girls I'd work with, you know, where we'd both be at work that day, but obviously we were both off work because of the fact there was lockdown, and we were just having a chat. What, the Grand Theft Auto or Stalker one? Stalker 2, I don't know. It's meant to be this year or next year, isn't it? Let's have a look. Stalker 2 release date. Stalker 2 is 28th of April 2022. GTA Remaster release date is November the 11th. All right, so GTA release date is only next month then. I've not really played about with it on my PC, Alexander, because I've not really needed to. I can have a look if you want me to, plugging it into my PC at some point. Tell you what I'll do. Tomorrow, I'll charge it fully up for tomorrow, because I need to go quite a decent distance in the car tomorrow. So if I give it a full charge before tomorrow, I can take the radio code out in the car, see if I get anything interesting on the Spectrum, and then see if I can unload the data onto the PC when I get back. But like I said, most of the stuff you do is via the app on it, really, not the PC with the radio code and most of those things now that have, you know, like smartphone apps. Yeah, then yeah, you're probably not going to be in luck until they do an Apple version. But yeah, I think it's more just. Although saying that, if you've got a Windows PC, you can emulate Android very easily on a Windows PC. So you can always run the actual app it uses on a Windows PC and then have a Bluetooth plug-in in your PC or laptop if you've not already got a Bluetooth chip in there. Oh, December's only a couple of months away, isn't it? I'm sure they will do an Apple one because that's like 50% of the market, so it wouldn't make sense for them not to. Yeah, so that's the easiest thing, is just getting a proper app that's been designed properly. Right, so tomorrow's video for the people coming on is on the Galil. And Sunday, for some point on Sunday, Halloween, I'm going to try and get my Halloween video filmed. It's not really like a comedy one this year. There might be some bits in it that make people laugh, but it's more going to be about masks and serial killers, like more fictitious ones. But it's more like, I guess, a psychological video. I don't know. Some people might not find it funny. Some people might like it, but I just thought it'd be the most interesting thing to do. But anyway, I won't say too much about it. Watch it on Sunday, and then you can tell me if you think it's shit or not. The Radia code, I think you'd get more use out of, David. The Radia scan is an actual Geiger counter, so the Radia scan picks up alpha, beta, and gamma. The Radia code only picks up X-rays and gamma rays. But the Radia code kind of gives you more info. It really depends what you want it for. Like, if you're worried about something like radon in your house, the Radia code is the only one that will warn you if there's radon there, because it picks up, alpha radiation, whereas the Radia code doesn't. Yeah, Justin, it probably was this year, I think. It probably was like January this year or February this year, I imagine, when we had quite a bit of snow where we were. But again, I can't actually remember exactly when it was, but I know it was definitely a lockdown thing. It happened because I know I met some people by accident, I worked with, who were also out enjoying the snow and enjoying not being at work because of Corona lockdown. When you say hand exploders, you mean grenades? Because if you mean grenades, on that shelf over there, see those? There's a couple of F1 grenades and stick grenades. All right, night, CM, if you're off. But if you mean hand grenades and inert cartridges, yeah, we can have all those. You just can't have them if they're live. Wow, if you've got a Section 1, you can have live rounds. But if you mean just stuff like grenades and inert mines and shells, yeah, you can have those. There's nothing in them, is there? It's just a bit of metal. Right. Why have you got yours, Lord Flashheart? Is it because you've had to have like some surgery done or something, or anything like that? Like I said, mine at the moment was because my hair was getting stupidly long, so I've just shaved it all off again because it was getting caught in stuff and everything like that. Yeah, Lewis. Yeah. Yeah, hand grenade. I don't know if they block the word hand grenade or not, but yeah, like you said, YouTube might get funny about it. But yeah, we can have inert hand grenades around here. The problem is you don't often see that many inert hand grenades, because I've certainly bought a lot more types of inert shells and grenades if they turned up at all right prices. But it seems like you can get a couple of grenades like commonly deactivated at good prices, and then none of the others, because I don't really want to buy like plastic replicas of grenades. I'd rather just buy deactivated real ones, just a real grenade with no fuse or explosive in it. As long as you can understand English all right, Stoic Jedi, you'll definitely get the gist of the film. But yes, Threads is quite a disturbing film because it's quite a real film, really. That's why it's disturbing. No, I've not got any trench art. Sadly, a lot of trench art and trench club type things might be considered weapons in the UK under, like, the bullshit like BAM stuff. Because again, it's weird, because I think technically stuff that's antique World War One trench art and like trench clubs and stuff like that is outside of the law, like to do with knuckle dusters and that. But some of the stuff like knuckle dusters after World War One are technically banned. And there's a lot of stuff like that where I'd want to be really careful. Like, obviously trench art lighters and all that are fine. But yeah, a lot of the stuff where they're like, things that they could potentially say, oh, that was designed to kill people, I'd be careful with. But yeah, I've not got any like trench art, like, shells that have been turned into anything. Or that's cool, Lewis. But yeah, I've known a few people have had like big shell casings turned into like umbrella stands, that have been sculpted a bit to look nice. But yeah, that's the thing I was on about, Alex. Only thing like that I have, and it's not World War One, is this Italian World War Two lighter that's conveniently on the desk. Let me see if I can get the light where you can see the playing card thing like carved into it. So they carved the playing card into one side of it. If the camera focuses. And on the other side, I guess that was the guy's initials it belonged to, FM. Doesn't really want to focus very well, the camera. But yeah, I sort of partially restored this one, and it did work. But it doesn't work anywhere near as well as modern lighter, so I just kind of gave up on getting it to work reliably and just have it now on my desk. But I see what you mean. Yeah, just going bold with age or whatever, male pattern boldness. Yeah. But yeah. Sorry, Lord Flashlight. When you first said that, I thought, oh shit, are you having chemotherapy or something? But yeah, somebody tonight said to me, "Did I have cancer?" And I was like, "Well, no, because then I wouldn't have eyebrows, would I?" But yeah. I've got some mates in their like early 30s that have already got big bold patches. Luckily, I'm saying luckily for me, even though I don't like having my hair long. I think I'd probably be all right with baldness just because every single male member of my family seems to have hair, to a good old age. But yeah, some of my mates certainly don't. But again, it's that weird kind of thing where I'm somebody who gets really thick hair and it annoys me, so I shave it all off. And then I have friends that get upset because they're losing their hair and they're not that old. But yeah, I guess it's just swings and roundabouts, isn't it? But with me, the problem is when you have quite thick hair, it just starts clogging stuff and getting in the way. Or like you have headphones on, then you get, the fucking indent in your hair for a while. The main thing that makes me want to cut my hair is when I wake up in the morning and my hair is like in all different tufts from where I've been laying in, where my head's been on the pillow. That's the main thing that really, and obviously gas masks. Some of them you can't put on when you get long hair. It's that sort of thing where when my hair's short, it doesn't really annoy me. I might have to wear a hat like this if I'm outside to protect my head from the cold a bit, and that's it. When I get longer hair, there's more and more things I'll notice that will annoy me. Like just hair getting in the way of various things, or taking longer to comb and not look like Boris. I suppose he's made, although he's a bit of a dick, he's made messy hair fashionable, hasn't he, Boris? With your hair just like poor everywhere, rather than that's like cut me your fucking hair, you look a disgrace. That's cool, Lewis. If you've got somebody near you that uses grenade casing to make candles and stuff like that, yeah. Yeah, it's good, Stoke Jedi, that you got a C50, especially if you're happy with it. But yeah, there are some, like you're saying, Alej or Ale, however your name's pronounced. Sorry, there's you can get some massive artillery casings, can't you? Which are like ones that, yeah, like you're saying, the ones that you can use as like umbrella stands or stuff like that. That or giant plant pots essentially, just because they're huge. So yeah, yeah, I suppose in that sense, yeah, Lord Flashheart. If you've got people on your mum and your dad's side that lose their hair, you're definitely gonna get it, aren't you? Although sometimes you do get weird things, don't you, where like people don't get many of their parents' genetics. Because there was a kid I went to school with. Both his parents were really short, but this kid was like 6'5" by the time he was about 12. It's one of those like weird things where I don't know if he just had some weird growth spurt gene, but and he looked like both his parents. So it wasn't like one of them had cheated on somebody else or whatever. But it's just one of those weird things. He looked like both his parents. He was just massively taller than them. But sometimes you get things like if a grandparent was quite tall or whatever, that sometimes skips a generation, doesn't it? Oh, that sounds good, punches couches. But yeah, it's like when people talk about the Metro lighter, because the Metro lighter is like a bullet turned into a lighter. I definitely want to get a bullet lighter at some point, like a properly handmade one. Well, ITAR Stoic Jedi is the entire dumb thing, isn't it, of like US stuff being banned from export. It's just a Ushanka. It's one of the Warsaw Pact ones. I don't know which nation. You can tell it's an ex-military one, look, because the badge has been pulled off. So that's whatever the nation's badge was, or like regiment badge was before it got surplused. My Galil doesn't have a moving bolt. To get a Galil with a moving bolt, you generally had to pay about double the price. That one has the video's on it tomorrow. So if you watch the video tomorrow, you'll see what you can do. You can take again, I'm not going to touch it on the stream, but you can move the safety switch, with both sides, because the Galil is an ambidextrous one. The trigger moves, although if you open the dust cover, you can see that the trigger's actually kind of like cut from the rest of the, trigger group. So the trigger just moves on its own. Although the safety does impact it, so it's still somewhat connected, I guess. And it has the recoil spring and the rod still in it. But if you take the dust cover off, then it's going to be a bloody hard job to get them in, because the bolt doesn't move, so you can't properly put the cover back on. That's pretty cool, Alexander. Cockade, is it? Punches, yeah. Best desert uniform. What type of desert are we on about? Just a generic sandy desert? Because some weird thing is, when you watch desert camo tests, some of the desert camos work a lot better and worse than you'd expect in different desert conditions, depending on how much vegetation you get. Because even if you start getting a little bit of vegetation, the just yellow and brown desert camos suddenly don't look very good anymore. Rhodesian brushstroke works weirdly well in desert, because there's a Brent video where he tests that in a desert, and the brushstroke beats a lot of actual proper desert camos. If it's Middle East, I would say maybe Rhodesian brushstroke, even though it's not really a desert camo, just because it covers a bit of greenery in it as well. A bit like multicams would later, but if you watch the video where Brent does I think it's in Las Vegas, Nevada, thinking Fallout then. He tests a load of them, and yeah, stuff like the British desert and some of the American desert patterns don't do as well as some of the African jungle patterns from the 70s and 80s, just because a lot of those camos were more muted greens in them, which actually look better in a desert. Again, it depends, because obviously if you had the Sahara style, just loads and loads of sand desert, you just want British style DPM, wouldn't you? Desert DPM, it's yellow and sort of white desert. But yeah, yellow and cream sort of coloured desert. But yeah, for stuff where you actually get vegetation and maybe buildings and that, you probably just want an all round more of a multi-cam style camo. I don't want to put a commie insignia back on this, because that'd be in my opinion, putting a hammer and sickle on something like this would be a bit like putting a swastika sticker on. It's or badge. It's evil regime that belongs in the dustbin of history. And again, I don't mean just the Red Army in general, or any of the other conscript armies of the communist era. I mean the actual ideology of putting a badge of a genocidal regime on your hat. Whether it be a CCP logo, a Pol Pot logo, whatever else. Anyway, I won't be on too much longer tonight, but let me actually look up punches, because is that in the in range videos? Because if I look that up, I might be able to tell you what it is. Yeah, flash up. Could pretend to be Corbyn then, couldn't I? Comrade. More comrades than the Labour Party conference. Yeah, well, the thing is, British World War II desert camo actually had pink in it, because pink works surprisingly well in the desert. But anyway, what was I going to say? I was going to look up that Ian McCullen, Ian Forgotten Weapons camo. See if I can see a video of him actually wearing the problem is, now I've searched that, there's pictures of him in all sorts of different camos. There's some of him wearing British DPM, I can see. There's another one where he looks like he's got a massive arse because he's wearing Belgian Jigsaw. See, this is the problem. Now you're actually asking me to look at what camo he's wearing. I can't find a single picture of him in desert camo. Oh, there's one that looks like he's got American, what they call cookie cutter, is it, desert camo? So if you search US desert cookie, is it cookie cutter camo? I know it's like desert free color or something it's called, isn't it? US desert, is it free color? It might be four color. No, not full color. It's got one of the names and then colors, hasn't it? If you just search desert battle dress, actually, I can link you. So the one I'm thinking of is the top one. Is it this one you're thinking of? Because I suppose it looks a bit like Fleckcon. Could be Alexander, yeah. But anyway, if that's the one the person's thinking of, that's the US, one of the US desert camos. I know it's normally called like cookie cutter or something like that, or chocolate chip. Is it chocolate chip camo? 6 color desert pattern or chocolate chip camouflage or cookie dough camouflage. That's why I was saying cookie cutter, because it's got chocolate chip and cookie dough. There's like nicknames for it. But yeah, that was the one I was at least thinking of. That I think I've seen him wearing before. But again, he's probably worn loads of surplus stuff on various Forgotten Weapons videos. But again, you can actually get a desert Flecktarn that looks similar to that. Like, not exactly the same, but that's the one that they wear in the original Command and Conquer in the cutscenes, isn't it? Like the GDI soldiers have on, I think. I'm pretty sure that's what GDI soldiers are wearing in the original Command and Conquer cutscenes. Yeah, it is, because they've got on the Pascat helmets, because they just had surplus uniforms on that. So they had, like, obviously Gulf War surplus as, like, the, cutscene camos in the original Command and Conquer. Yeah, PNV 57Es are really nice. The A is like not really very good night vision. You probably know I've mentioned this before, but the PNV 57A is basically a Gen 0 night vision unit, although it's a very good Gen 0, so it's designed for use of IR, like flashlights and searchlights. But the PNV 57E is like a very good Gen 1 Plus. So yeah, the PNV 57E is still bloody good today compared to some like commercially available Gen 1 and Gen 1 Plus units. Obviously, well, the A, they were used all over the Warsaw Pact. The A is the Gen 0 model. The E is the Gen 1 or Gen 1 Plus unit. The E is the bulkier one because it's got the actual amplification circuits in it. But yeah, obviously compared to modern Gen 2 Plus and Gen 3, like night vision, the PN57E is not very good at all. But for what it is, especially if you can get some as cheap surplus, I was still surprised when I took it out at night, like how much better it works than some, commercially available Gen 1 units. Seeing as punches couches, I don't know which camera the person's on about. This is the problem. Tomorrow, AK-47, the video on it's on tomorrow. But I've put it in the background so people could see it tonight. But obviously, I can't pick it up today because that would break YouTube's policies, unfortunately. Well, I'd love a deactivated AK-74, but I've never seen one for good money. Anytime I ever see one come up for good money, they either sell out really quickly, or when I contact the seller on like gun trading type sites, they never have it. Almost like it's a fake thing to get you to look at their pages and then buy something else. But yeah, the side folding AKs I like. I really like the East German AKs with the side folding stocks as well. But I would like to get an AK-74. But again, like the things, I'm not going to pay silly money for it because I have to put money into savings, like the bunker savings and everything else. But that was really cheap for what it was, so I had to get it because I was like, I can buy this and still put £500 this month into bunker savings. Yeah, the M45 is a really cool, weird mask, isn't it? But yeah, it's not worth silly money, unless you really, really want one. But again, like the thing is with gas masks is for most people, I'd say spend a decent bit of money and get a really good modern mask that's like mass produced. You know, don't bother with prototypes or really old dodgy surplus ones. Weirdly, sometimes in the UK we can get guns that are rare to get for people to be able to get live in the US, but they're just sadly deactivated here. So it's like, you know, the thing of in the US somebody can't even get it to shoot it, but here we can get them when they're essentially just welded shut, which is a bit of a shame. The thing that really annoys me though is when you get places that won't sell their guns to civilian when they surplus them, so they just destroy them. They'd have to meet lots of international shipping laws and also be so with deactivation laws in the UK, I think if you buy a foreign deactivated gun, it has to be collected by a gunsmith to then be deactivated to UK standards. So it's a ball ache. It's not worth doing, basically. But yeah, so that's what I'm saying. That's the thing you want to do, isn't it? With not deactivated masks, gas masks, is either just buy like a good current issue, like industrial or civilian made one that's good, or just something that's easily available surplus in good condition. BW Troppentan, is that the World War II one? Punches couches. Let me have a look. Or the modern multicam one. Oh no, so that's Bundeswehr Troppentan. Yeah, that's just Desert Flecktarn, isn't it? Because that's Desert Flecktarn essentially. It's the proper name for Desert Flecktarn. If you say Desert Flecktarn, that's what everybody means. If it's EU spec, it's probably okay, Alexander, because EU spec is stricter than current UK spec. That's EU spec, I think. Or is it EU spec? I've got a couple of my DX are EU spec, and some of those are more, seriously deactivated than my UK, what would have been called UK new spec a while ago. Not as often as I used to, Stoic Jedi, because as I've said over and over and over again, there's a lot of stuff at the moment where I want to sell stuff to make room. Yeah, that's good hardcore Hesher. They're not actual rare masks, are they? But at the moment, they're not masks you can get easily. So I can get what you mean by they're rare in that case. That they're not ones where you can just say I want to buy one and find one on the same day you want to buy it. Anyway, I'll be off now. Thanks for coming on, everybody. It's been a bit of a fun chat. But yeah, so for the person asking about PNV 57Es, they're worth a purchase if you can get them for a good price and the tubes are in good condition. But yeah, like you're saying, Punches, for use in Arizona or whatever, or the Middle East, yeah, Troppentan would work well, wouldn't it? But yeah, have a good evening, everybody. And yes, for the people interested in this, at some point I will do a review on this. I'm going to specifically keep it in my car, so when there's a cold day, I can actually wear it, keep my ears warm, and then do a video explaining how well it works for people that actually want like a proper review of one, rather than me just saying, "Oh yeah, it keeps your head warm," because that's not really a good review, is it? But anyway, I'll be off now, and there'll be a video on the Galil tomorrow. There won't be a stream tomorrow. Or like Kit Kat, you've come on just as I'm leaving. But yeah, so video on the Galil tomorrow. There won't be a stream tomorrow. And then Sunday, I'll get the Halloween video finished for Sunday, because obviously it's not much point putting a Halloween video on after Halloween, is there? But yeah, have a good evening, everybody, and see you all. I'm hoping I might be able to get time to do a stream Sunday, but I don't know. If not, I imagine I'll do a stream Monday.